They say hell is below us, but what if I told you in some places it's already here? These are the 12 most haunted places on Earth, and each one has a story that will make you question reality. These aren't legends written for movies. They're real places, documented, investigated, and feared. Let's start our counting with number 12. 12. Monte-cristo, Homestead, Australia. They call it Australia's most haunted house. Monte-cristo Homestead in Junee, New South Wales was built in 1885 by wealthy landowner Christopher Crawley. But behind its elegant walls lurked tragedy. A maid is said to have fallen to her death from the balcony. A stable boy burned alive in a fire. And in the most chilling story, a baby was dropped down the stairs by a nanny who swore unseen hands forced her to let go. Crawley himself died of blood poisoning in 1910. His widow Elizabeth dressed in black until her death, and many say she never left. The hauntings aren't just old stories. In 1992, a Sydney couple reported waking at 3 a.m. to the sound of boots stomping along the balcony, though no one was there. Paranormal investigator Ben Hansen claimed in 2002 he was shoved so violently in Elizabeth's room that he dropped his recorder. And in 2018, tourist Claire Johnson swore she saw a woman in black drift past her window, except that room below was locked and empty. Locals say the spirits of Monte-cristo never left and they're still waiting for their revenge. They say Monte-cristo doesn't just haunt you while you're inside, it follows you home. And if you think that's chilling, wait until you hear about the English inn built over a pagan burial ground. 11. Ancient Ram Inn, England. In the quiet town of Watton-under-Edge stands a building older than the United States itself. Built in 1145, the ancient Ram Inn is known as England's most haunted home. In 2001, during renovations, the owner uncovered children's skeletons beneath the staircase, along with ritual daggers. The current owner, John Humphreys, claimed he was regularly attacked by a succubus in the night. Guests often report hearing a child crying in the bishop's room, or waking to find themselves pinned down by unseen hands. One man fled in the middle of the night after claiming something tried to suffocate him in his sleep. In 2015, paranormal investigators captured video of a chair sliding across the floor. No one near it. The footage aired on ITV News and reignited the inn's dark reputation. One man fled in the middle of the night after claiming something tried to suffocate him in his sleep. Even today, thrill seekers book rooms here, but none last till dawn. If you're brave enough to continue this journey with me, hit that like button now, you'll need it. 10. Edinburgh Castle, Scotland. A fortress with nearly 900 years of bloodshed situated in Edinburgh, Scotland. Prisoners of war were tortured in its dungeons, and plague victims thrown into mass graves below. Today, visitors report phantom drummers beating out war signals, and a headless drummer who appears before disaster strikes. Soldiers on night watch have abandoned their posts after hearing bagpipes echo from the dungeons even though no piper was there. The most chilling, the phantom piper ordered to explore tunnels beneath the castle centuries ago, who never returned. In 2001, during one of the largest paranormal studies ever conducted, over 200 volunteers explored the castle's vaults. Nearly half reported physical contact, scratches, burning sensations, and sudden icy chills in rooms where prisoners once starved to death. Today, tourists leave pale and shaken, swearing someone walked just behind them, but when they turned, the halls were empty. This fortress isn't just history, it's still alive with the screams of the past. Follow the music and you might end up where the piper vanished. 9. Hoia-Baciu Forest, Romania. They call it the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania, located in Cluj-Napoca, Romania. In the 1960s, biologist Alexander Sift photographed a strange flying object over this forest. A few years later, in 1968, military technician Emil Barnea photographed a UFO above the trees, days the experts still call one of the clearest. He later resigned and vanished, but UFOs aren't the only thing this place hides. In 1975, a shepherd and his 200 sheep entered the forest. None were ever seen again. In 2009, a tourist named Adrian Marinescu collapsed after wandering into the infamous clearing where no trees grow. Doctors found no cause for his burns. In 2015, a tourist went missing for 2 days. When found, her arms were covered in unexplained burn marks, and she had no memory of where she'd been. Scientists blame radiation. Locals say the forest took her. Hoia-Baciu isn't just haunted, it decides who escapes. But while this forest swallows people whole, our next place holds secrets buried beneath its very foundations. 8 Myrtles Plantation, USA, deaths 1823. In Louisiana stands the Myrtles Plantation, called America's most haunted house. Built in 1796, this place has seen over a dozen deaths, but one ghost overshadows the rest. Chloe. In the 1820s, Chloe, an enslaved woman, was caught eavesdropping and had her ear cut off as punishment. For revenge, she baked a birthday cake laced with oleander leaves. The children who ate it died in agony. Chloe was lynched soon after, but her spirit never left. For over 200 years, visitors have photographed a woman in a green turban staring from the windows. In 2014, a tourist named Sarah Murphy captured a clear figure behind her group in a photo. No one was inside the house at the time. Staff later confirmed it matched Chloe's description. Guests who stay overnight often report waking to the sound of children crying, the same children Chloe once killed. Step into this plantation, and history might just step toward you. 7. The Colosseum, Italy. 2,000 years of blood still stain these stones. Built between 70 and 80 AD in Rome, Italy, the Colosseum saw over 400,000 gladiators and prisoners die before roaring crowds. Today, tourists don't just hear history, they hear the dead. Phantom cheers echo through the empty stands. Shadows of armed men stalk the underground vaults. In 2016, a guard reported feeling a cold hand grip his shoulder while patrolling beneath the arena. He turned, no one was there. Others claim to hear the growls of wild animals long gone, as if lions and tigers still wait for their prey. Some visitors collapse suddenly, overwhelmed by the sensation of suffocating in the dust and heat of an ancient execution. By day it's a monument, but by night it's still an arena where the dead never stopped fighting. Before getting to next location, hit that subscribe button now. It helps keep the Hidden Horror Vault open. And if you're watching this far, you're braver than most. But don't you want to know about queens and children who refuse to rest in the Tower of London? 6. The Tower of London, England. Since 1066, the Tower of London has been a fortress, a palace, and a prison of nightmares. Thousands died within these walls, haunted by royals who met violent ends. Anne Boleyn, executed in 1536, is said to walk the chapel grounds, carrying her severed head beneath her arm. Guards over the years have sworn to seeing her pale figure. One fainted in 1978, after locking eyes with her hollow stare. The princes in the tower, Edward V and his brother Richard, were murdered here in 1483. Children's laughter is still heard on the stairs of the bloody tower, though no children live within. In 2013, a night warden reported seeing a woman in white waving from the White Tower's window. But when he entered the room, it was empty. The screams of the tortured still echo through the bloody tower, as if the executions never truly ended. Nearly 1,000 years of executions and betrayal linger here. At the Tower of London, the Crown's history isn't written in gold, it's written in blood. If you're watching this alone, you might want to turn on the lights because the top 5 only gets darker. 5. Charleville Mansion. India, high in the Himalayan foothills, sits an abandoned colonial relic, the Charleville Mansion, located in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. Built in the British era, in 1913, British officer Victor Bailey ignored warnings and rented Charleville Mansion. To test the ghost stories, Bailey locked the most haunted room. When he finally opened it, the furniture was shattered, the walls scratched, and the word "leave" smeared in what looked like blood. Within months, his family abandoned the mansion. In 1990, journalist Anita Sharma entered to write a feature. She claimed her tape recorder stopped working inside but later replayed, filled only with screams. She never published her story. To this day, no tenant has lasted more than a week inside those walls. It remains empty even today. Even squatters refuse to stay here. At night, neighbors say lights flicker through the broken windows, though no electricity runs inside. The word "leave" was just the beginning. Because the next fort is so dangerous, the government bans entry after dark. 4. Bhangarh Fort, India. They call it the most cursed place in India. Built in 1573 by Raja Madho Singh in Alwar, Rajasthan, India, fell victim to a sorcerer's curse. The legend says Singhiya, a tantric, fell in love with Princess Ratnavati. He bewitched a bottle of perfume, hoping she'd fall under his spell. But Ratnavati saw through his trick and hurled it against a boulder. The stone rolled, crushing Singhiya to death. With his dying breath, he cursed the fort. No one who lived there would ever know peace. Within a year, Mughal forces destroyed the town. Every inhabitant perished. Since then, screams and laughter echo from the ruins after sunset. In 2012, a tourist who ignored the government's ban disappeared without a trace. His body was never found. The Archaeological Survey of India still posts warnings. Enter after dark and face legal consequences, not by law, but from the dead. If a cursed fort feels extreme, imagine a forest where the silence itself drives people to end their lives. 3. Aokigahara Forest, Japan. At the base of Mount Fuji lies a sea of trees known as Aokigahara, situated in Yamanashi Prefecture, Japan. To the world, it's the suicide forest. Since the 1950s, hundreds have entered and never returned. 30 people each year choose to end their lives here. Their bodies often discovered by hikers. Hikers find shoes, notes, even skeletons hanging in the trees. The forest is unnaturally silent. Birds don't sing. Wind doesn't stir. Compasses spin uselessly, disorienting even seasoned explorers. In 2010, police discovered 54 bodies in a single month. Guides say if you tie a ribbon to the trees to find your way back, sometimes it leads you in circles, right back to the bodies. In March 2021, volunteers found the belongings of a man who vanished 2 years earlier, his bones scattered across the forest floor. Just months later, YouTuber Kazuki Takahashi reported hearing whispers while filming, though no one was nearby. He cut his trip short. Signs lined the trails, painted blood red. Your life is precious. Step too deep into Aokigahara, and you may never come back. Locals warn if you hear whispers here, they're not from the living. But our next haunted prison tortured inmates even after death. If you've come this far, don't forget to share it with whom you want to discover these places of dead. 2. Eastern State Penitentiary, USA. They call it America's most haunted prison. Opened in 1829. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It pioneered solitary confinement, driving inmates to madness. Punishments here were medieval. Prisoners dunked in freezing water and left outside until ice formed on their skin, or gagged with iron devices that tore their tongues apart. Even Al Capone, locked up here in 1929, wasn't spared. He screamed at night, begging Jimmy to leave him alone. Many believe it was the ghost of Jimmy Clark, one of the St. Valentine's Day massacre victims. Cell Block 12 is infamous. Visitors hear phantom laughter, footsteps in empty corridors, and shadowy figures slipping between cells. In 2013, a group of tourists captured an EVP that clearly whispered, "Get out." The prison closed in 1971, but the screams never stopped. We're about to reach the most terrifying location on Earth. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed. 1. Poveglia Island, Italy. They call it the Island of No Return. Just off Venice's coast, this tiny island has soaked up more death than anywhere else in Europe. During the plague years of the 14th century, more than 160,000 victims were dragged here, dumped into pits or burned alive in towering pyres. Locals say the soil is still 50% human ash. In 1922, a psychiatric hospital was built on this cursed ground. The head doctor performed crude lobotomies with hand drills and hammers, leaving patients screaming in the tower. His reign of terror ended when he either jumped or was pushed from the bell tower. Witnesses swore they saw a black mist strangle him midair before his body hit the ground. Even today, fishermen avoid the waters around Poveglia, fearing their nets will bring up bones. In 2016, a group of explorers who snuck onto the island reported hearing screams echoing through the fog, only to find the hospital completely empty. Italy has permanently banned entry, but the dead don't need permission to find you. So there you have it, 12 places across the globe where the line between the living and the dead has blurred forever. These haunted places aren't legends, they're real, and some are still open to the public. Would you dare to visit? Or do you believe some doors should never be opened? And if this countdown gave you chills, step into another nightmare. Click the video on screen now for the shocking story behind The Conjuring that Hollywood refused to show you. For more chilling stories of real hauntings, subscribe to Hidden Horror Vault, because the next video might just be darker than this one.